Education, Dr. Ritter and Mr. Williams, were hired to perform a thorough investigation of Superintendent Dr. Mark Ficken's role in the Missouri State Fair rodeo incident. In the course of their investigation, Dr. Ritter and Mr. Williams interviewed multiple individuals, analyzed video footage of the Missouri State Fair. Investigation was performed over multiple days and was summarized in a detailed report. The report found that after careful review of the facts and opinions available to the investigators, quote, Dr. Ficken has been wrongly characterized by some who don't have correct information, unquote. In particular, the report found that Dr. Ficken had no advanced knowledge of Mr. Gessling's, the clown's plan to have someone impersonate President Obama. The skit was not planned or rehearsed, and notably, Dr. Ficken had no role in the skit other than an incidental reaction to Mr. Gessling's comments. Further, the report concluded that Dr. Ficken had just done nothing that would interfere with his role as an effective superintendent of schools in Boonville. The board voted 5-0 to accept the findings and conclusions of the investigators. Per the requirements of the Missouri Sunshine Law, Dr. Ficken was notified of the board's vote prior to releasing the vote to the public this morning. The Boonville R1 School District Board of Education is confident in Dr. Ficken's leadership. Under Dr. Ficken's leadership, the district will continue to provide the best educational opportunities for its students and looks forward to another successful school year in Boonville, Missouri. So, looks like Dr. Ficken will continue to lead the Boonville Pirates. That's the school mascot, Pirates, in Boonville. So, for the record, I know I've stated this before since day one of this program because it was one of the first topics of discussion on this program, the Obama clown incident, but it was never my intention to have anyone permanently suspended from the Missouri State Fair. Certainly not Mr. Ficken. I was fairly convinced that he was innocent of all the charges accused against him. But I felt that there needed to be investigation because there were some discrepancies and some uncertainties as to what happened on that August day a couple of weeks ago. And now we know that he is indeed innocent. Okay, so maybe we can finally put this matter to rest. But I have a feeling it's just still going to stir up occasionally because, for example, I did hear on the news last night that Mr. Gessling, Tuffy Gessling, is going to be at the La Plata Soybean Festival on Labor Day. La Plata is just a hop, a skip, and a leap south of Kirksville. Yours truly will not be able to attend. It's not because I don't want to go or have no desire to go. It's rather that I'll be working on Labor Day, and so hopefully there won't be any more controversy coming out of that. All right. Well, it's time for things you need to know, and I have a brand new open for that, and you're going to hear it for the first time right now.
Yo, I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. Don't tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. Don't tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I wanna really, really, really wanna zig a zig.
Oppan Gangnam Style.
And now, things you need to know on this Wednesday, August 28th, 2013. First of all, let's see here. News attack. Nike has introduced glow-in-the-dark running shoes just for women. That way, ladies, if you'd like to jog before the sun comes up, you can still be clearly identified by all of the neighborhood dogs. Like they need glow-in-the-dark shoes to know that you're out there. Trust me. If anything I know about dogs, even if they can't see you, they know you're there. Trust me, I've lived with enough dogs, especially hounds, and you ever try to sneak in on a Rhodesian Ridgeback who's crazy about you? Not easy. Dachshunds are even worse because they can trip you, and they move like torpedoes. They could go in a swirly pattern. Well, anyway, why not make those shoes for men? I don't understand why women get all the fancy shoes. Now, I'm not saying that I want pumps, okay? Can you imagine my big feet in pumps? Not a pretty sight. It's not a pretty sight. Well, I have to admit, though, they are kind of sexy every once in a while. Things that I confess to on this program. Let's see what else you need to know on this Wednesday. Internet junkies can finally head to rehab. Internet addiction among kids. Now, this is ironic considering I found this story on the internet and that I'm reading it to you on an internet radio program. Keep that in mind. Well, internet addiction among kids in Japan has become so prevalent that one statistic holds that 500,000 of them suffer from it, and that the government is investigating in emergent projects to break this dependency. These internet fasting camps are for kids who need some rehab. There's total internet blackout with things like outdoor activities and team games instead. So, my advice is, kids, you didn't hear this from me, so don't tell them I said this, alright? You hide a phone small enough, put it in a pocket or in a secure location, and make sure you scramble the bandwidth so they can't trace the source, okay? That's how you get around that. Look, listen to me, advocating breaking the rules. Can you imagine that? I know I can't. Well, there's a taste test now, and the results of this survey I question. Now, normally, I try to keep an open mind about surveys and things of that nature, but this taste test, I don't hold with it, bub. I don't hold with it at all. And what I'm talking about is a taste test involving my favorite beverage. It's coffee. Yeah, that's right, coffee. That's where the name of this program came from. First Cup. Well, anyway, this survey involves a taste test. Starbucks coffee tasting the same as Walmart coffee. Well, if they taste the same, there's a huge price disparity, okay? Now, a lot of times I'll say, generic brand names are just as good as the real McCoy, except when it comes to bacon and hot dogs, okay? There is a difference I can taste. The same goes with coffee. Now, according to a recent blind taste test, Starbucks coffee is just as good as Walmart coffee. The blind taste test was conducted by members of Consumer Reports who have no taste buds at all. I'll tell you what. How about on Monday's show? I will have my own taste test comparison. I'll have a cup of Starbucks coffee. There's a Starbucks opening at the Hy-Vee here in Kirksville this very Saturday. So I'll get some coffee Monday morning, bring it on the show, and then I'll get some coffee from Walmart that I will brew myself to my specifications. Okay? And then I'll put it right here, and we'll put it to the test, okay? And we'll see if their basic black is just as good as Walmart's basic black, okay? It sounds like a winner, doesn't it? Well, speaking of winners, it's time for a look at the nationwide weather forecast for what day it is. Say that again, Camel. We couldn't quite hear you.
Uh-oh. Guess what day it is?
That's a little better. Okay. So what do you say we take a look at that nationwide weather forecast, shall we?
Winter weather warning right now. Here's a live look at the Fox 6 snow stick. This is out on the weather deck.
And take a look at the nationwide weather forecast for this Wednesday. We'll start off in the Midwest. Temperatures are expected to remain well above average across the region as a giant high-pressure ridge continues to remain in control. Highs are forecast to be 10 to 20 degrees above average through the end of the week. And most areas will see little, if any, rainfall as a result of this high-pressure ridge. Temperatures in the 90s this afternoon with 100 to 105 degree readings in Iowa, Nebraska, Kansas, and Missouri. Higher humidities from the Dakotas to the Ohio Valley produce heat indices of 95 to 105 degrees. Some scattered thunderstorms could be possible. Some of those storms could be possibly severe and are expected in Ohio. Main severe threats include damaging wind gust and hail. Isolated severe thunderstorms may pop up in North Dakota and South Dakota. Damaging wind gust, hail, and an isolated tornado are also possible in any severe thunderstorm. Into the northeast, a strong disturbance drops southeastward across the region, producing scattered showers and thunderstorms. Severe thunderstorms containing damaging wind gusts and hail are possible in West Virginia and Virginia during the afternoon and evening hours. Heavier thunderstorms are also capable of producing heavy downpours and an inch or more of rain. High temperatures will be in the upper 70s and 80s across the region. Out west, moisture flowing northward around the western side of the Plains Ridge produces isolated to scattered thunderstorms from New Mexico, Arizona, and southeast California to eastern Idaho and western Montana. And these thunderstorms capable of producing heavy downpours and flooding. Meanwhile, a new surge of tropical moisture from northern Mexico advents into the southwestern portions of the country during the latter part of this week, increasing coverage and intensity of the shower and thunderstorm activity. Heavy rain and a greater flood risk comes with the increased moisture and thunderstorms. Showers remain likely in western Washington today and tomorrow. High temperatures should be in the 60s and 70s along the coast, 80s and 90s inland, and 95 to 110 degrees in the desert region. Looking to the south, dry and warmer air in most areas as the Plains Ridge gains a larger grip on the region. An upper level low over the southern parts of Florida will keep it wet with numerous showers and thunderstorms there. A few isolated thunderstorms may work their way into southern Texas from the western Gulf of Mexico. Thunderstorms are also possible in North Carolina as a disturbance moves by to the north. High temperatures will be mostly in the 90s with a few 80s possible in North Carolina, East Tennessee, and South Florida. And finally, some spotty 100-degree plus highs are possible in northeast Texas, northwest Louisiana, Arkansas, and Oklahoma. And that, my friends, is a look at the weather forecast for this Wednesday. Well, what do you say we take a quick break? And let's see what I have here. We've already done that. And looking for some PSAs in the system, so bear with me. I forgot to load them this morning, so we'll do something like that right now. Load that one. And look up this one. Type in a few keywords. And, okay, I'll close this page so I talk to myself. And we'll push this back up here. And then we'll put this one over here. And we'll have a look at news headlines in 1 minute. You're listening to First Cup. It is Wednesday, August 28th, 2013.
These babies have been born with something that affects more people than malaria, cancer, or even HIV and AIDS. Because of it, many of them will be denied an education and condemned to a life of poverty. Thousands of them will be killed. Millions more will be victimized and abused. Because all these babies have one thing in common. They're female.
This September, our state lawmakers have the opportunity to make history.
Because for the first time in nearly 100 years, Missouri can stop spending and start growing.
By returning a budget surplus back to Missouri taxpayers.
And let Missouri families spend their money better than politicians.
Because we need to grow our economy, not the size of government.
Tell our state leaders 100 years is long enough.
Visit growmissouri.com to learn more.
Stop spending, start growing.
Welcome back to First Cup for Wednesday, August 28th, 2013. Joe Haffner here, back on the case with Jim Rockford and company. And glad you can be a part of today's festivities. Still to come, we'll have News of the Weird in just a moment. After the CBS World News Roundup, also celebrity birthdays. But right now, though, what do you say we find out what's going on in the exciting world of news? Shall we? Let's shall.
Hello, Americans. This is Paul Harvey. Stand by for news.
And no new sponsors for today. Because news is news, right? Right. U.S. action in Syria could come as early